you like daffodils? You know, those pretty little yellow flowers that look like pointed baby sunflowers? They're so pretty, aren't they? So pretty indeed. Do you think the daffodil think it's pretty? Do you think it ever thinks about how pretty it is? Do you know that the daffodil is also known as the narcissus? In Greek mythology, Narcissus was a hunter who was known for his unparalleled beauty, and he knew he was beautiful. One day, Narcissus was walking in the woods when Echo, a mountain nymph, saw him and fell deeply in love with his beauty and followed him everywhere. Narcissus noticed that he was being followed and shouted, "Who's there?" Echo repeated back to him, "Who's there?" She followed him until she couldn't not be with him anymore and revealed herself to Narcissus. He disdained the attention. He felt she was unworthy of his consideration and respect, and Echo was heartbroken. She spent the rest of her life in loneliness, pining away for Narcissus until nothing was left of her but an echo of her former self. Nemesis, the goddess of revenge, found out about what happened to Echo and decided to punish Narcissus. Once, after one of Narcissus' hunting trips, he got very thirsty and stopped in a pool for a drink. He leaned into the water and saw his own reflection. Mirrors weren't a thing yet at that time, and he did not recognize himself. He did, however, recognize the immense beauty looking back at him and fell deeply in love with it. Unable to leave the allure of his own reflection, he eventually realized that his love could never be reciprocated, and he melted away from the fire of passion burning inside of him, turning him into a beautiful flower, the daffodil. Since then, Narcissus became the epitome of vanity and egotism, and the intense admiration of one's idealized self image and attributes. Hence, the term narcissism was born. What is narcissism? Narcissism, when on steroids, is called Narcissistic Personality Disorder or NPD. It is characterized by a long standing pattern of exaggerated feelings of self importance and an excessive craving for admiration. Everybody needs to have a certain level of self love and self respect, but narcissism takes it to a whole new unhealthy level. Narcissists have a persistent obsession with grandiosity. They are obsessed with consistently being impressive to others and to themselves that it becomes damaging to their everyday lives and to the people around them. They crave attention too much. They crave admiration too much, like it was their lifeline and they'd crumble and die if ignored. There is a certain arrogance in people with narcissistic personality disorder. They have a distorted sense of personal superiority and seeks to establish abusive power and control over others. If they are better than everyone else, then everyone else should bow down to them and their awesomeness. They need to be treated like a superior being. Anything less will conflict with their sense of self and leave them questioning their own existence. Contrary to their pretentious confidence overload, their egos are extremely fragile and they are very intolerant of criticism. They can't stand it, but they themselves tend to belittle others in order to validate their own superiority. They feel the need to devalue and insult and blame other people, using anger and hostility as their weapons of choice to prove they're above others. Narcissists have to think of themselves before anything and everybody else. They are top priority, if not the only priority. It is hard for them to think outside of themselves. Hence, it is innately hard for them to have any empathy or sympathy for others. It's their world, and you're just living in it. This mentality is very detrimental to any relationships they have in their lives. People with NPD often spend a lot of time daydreaming about achieving power and success or on their own appearance. When they're not daydreaming, they're busy exaggerating their skills and accomplishments to others, trying to prove to everyone their superiority and high status. It's hard to talk to a narcissist, really. They usually become easily annoyed with you when you try to talk about anything and everything under the sun not related to them. They grow impatient and incessantly try to manipulate the conversation back to them as the main topic.
Narcissists are self absorbed control freaks who are intolerant of other people's views and opinions. They are apathetic towards the emotional, mental, and psychological needs of others and is very indifferent to the negative effects of his or her behaviors to others, whilst insisting that people see them as the ideal person. Traits of a Narcissist. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM 5, is this big fat blue book that serves as a kind of dictionary of mental disorders for mental health professionals. The DSM 5 has helpfully and clearly enumerated for us the 9 personal qualities a narcissist has. Do you think you're a narcissist? Do you think someone you know is? If you or that someone you know score at least 5 of these following 9 criteria, well, then that answers that question for you. Because really, that's all it takes. Number 1, a grandiose sense of self. For example, you tell everyone how skilled and talented you are and list to them all of your achievements. But in reality, such achievements do not exist. Or you post a picture of yourself on Instagram saying hashtag woke up like this, but you really spent an hour on your natural looking makeup prior to taking the photo. Plus, you used some filters. Number 2, you are preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. You think of yachts, Ferraris, traveling the world with your ideal trophy husband or wife, all while sitting in your couch at home doing absolutely nothing to reach any of your dreams. You like thinking about it though, and you're entitled enough to think that one day all of your dreams will come true without you really exerting that much time and effort to achieve it all. Number 3, you believe that you are special and unique, a one of a kind, rare guy or gal. We all think we are special in some ways, but narcissists think that they are so special that they cannot mingle with unspecial people. You make sure to surround yourself only with people whom you feel are superior to. You are rude to your waitress, but you are quote unquote nice to the owner of the restaurant. Number 4, you require excessive admiration. You are that person who takes selfies every single damn day and posts multiple times on all of your social media platforms. You have the good morning selfie, the good afternoon selfie, the good night selfie, the take care selfie, and so on and so forth. And tomorrow, exact same thing. You are Little Miss Outfit of the Day, even when your outfits are not sponsored nor is your account monetized. It's not entrepreneurship. You are doing it solely for attention and attention alone. And on the other side of the coin, you disdain other people who do it too. And you feel that they are not as beautiful and worthy as you, so they can't do it. If they are, though, beautiful and worthy, you consider them your friends. Number 5, you unreasonably expect favorable treatment from others or automatic compliance with your expectations from them. You have a deep sense of entitlement, like the world owes you for some reason. You are that whiny child upset about getting a pony when you wanted a unicorn. Number 6, you are interpersonally exploitative, meaning you take advantage of others to achieve your own ends. For example, you are living the parasitic lifestyle. You live in your mom's basement or your boyfriend or girlfriend's place, not paying any rent, and eating food that they solely paid for. And you have the audacity to get mad at them when they complain. They are not allowed to complain. They are to comply with your wishes or else. Number 7, you lack empathy. You are unwilling or unable to recognize or identify the feelings and needs of others. Let's say from the previous example, you are living at your significant other's place and they are paying everything for you. Let's say they don't complain about you being a financial burden to them, but they do ask you for emotional or psychological support. One day they come home and tell you about their day and how their boss belittled them and made them feel like shit. They look at you with hope and love in their eyes, waiting for your response, waiting for some sort of reassurance from you. And you look back at them and ask them to turn the TV on. Number 8, you are often envious of others and or believe that others are envious of you. This is very on brand with thinking too highly of yourself. You think so highly of yourself that you think the rest of the world is jealous of you. You're prettier, you're smarter, you're better in some intangible, inexplicable way. You just are. But then, someone whom you think is better than you passes you by and you think, I am a piece of shit. You turn green with envy a split second after thinking the world of yourself. And last but not the least, number 9, you show arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. You are a snob. You are a conceited snob. You are stuck up, egotistical, condescending, big headed, cocky, fancy pants. That's it. That's the explanation for that one. So, what's your score? How many did you check off the narcissist list? Don't worry, your secret is safe with us. Note, this video is not meant to simply bash people with narcissistic personality disorder. I personally don't think that they are bad people, and I think it's very unfair to automatically write them off as such. There are reasons behind why they are the way they are, and it's not always their fault. And so maybe we should go and take a deeper look at their lives first and try to understand them more and where they're coming from before blatantly judging them. So, the big question is it nature or nurture? Is the cause environmental, social, genetic, or neurobiological? 1. It is genetic. Narcissistic personality disorder is an inheritable psychological condition. Research evidence indicates that a person is more likely to develop NPD if the said personality disorder is also present in the medical history of his or her family tree. Something about the specific genes and genetic interactions contribute to the formation of NPD. 2. Your upbringing, also known as your parents, count. I know, it's very cliche to blame the parents, but they are the primary caregivers during a child's developmental stage, so we kind of have to accept that. Your parents could have very well been very overindulgent and permissive when it comes to you, that you learned at an early age that you are the center of the universe and you can have everything. They admired and praised you incessantly and overvalued your smallest, quote unquote, achievements. They constantly insist that your physical appearance and abilities are beyond compare, and you're just plain amazing. And of course, being the little impressionable youngster that you are, you bought all of it. You are awesome. Your mom said so, and you never grew out of it. Your parents may also have been very supportive, but in an unhealthy way. For example, they raved about all of your achievements to your aunts and uncles, but when you have had a bad day at school, they are nowhere to be found. You have this impaired emotional relationship with your parents that they're so proud of you, but they don't really know you. They cared more about your grades than your feelings. But what if you grow up and are faced with the reality that, hey, I don't think I'm awesome? It is a subconscious thought, of course, because you would never admit that to yourself. But every day, more and more, it's becoming clearer that the sun doesn't rise and set on you. You're still in that shitty apartment. You still have that broken down car. You're still in that dead end job. But your mother said you were awesome, remember? And your aunts and uncles were awesome too, remember? So, what now? Now, you make stuff up. You create an alternate reality for you to live in and to share with others so they know, like you do, how amazing you are. This unstable sense of identity is how you cope with your subpar real life. If your life isn't good enough, you rewrite it in your head. 3. Pathophysiology. Studies of the occurrence of narcissistic personality disorder was found to be tied to less gray matter in the brain. Gray matter is the darker tissue of the brain and spinal cord, consisting mainly of nerve cell bodies and branching dendrites. The theory is the more gray matter, the better. In people with NPD, there is a lesser volume of gray matter in the left anterior insular cortex and the prefrontal cortex. These are the parts of the brain that are associated with human emotions of empathy and compassion and with the mental functions of cognition and emotional regulation. That's why severe symptoms of NPD can significantly impair the person's mental capabilities to develop meaningful human relationships, such as friendship and marriage. Narcissistic personality disorder usually develops either in adolescence or in early adulthood, and it is common for children and adolescents to display personality traits that resemble NPD. But such occurrences are usually transient and register below the clinical criteria for a formal NPD diagnosis. True symptoms of NPD are pervasive and are rigidly consistent over time. The DSM 5 strongly states that in order to qualify as someone with NPD, you must manifest personality traits that are substantially different from the cultural norms of society. True NPD can significantly impair a person's psychological abilities to function socially, either at work or in school, or within other important societal settings. And finally, treatment. Narcissists generally do not seek psychotherapeutic treatment for narcissistic personality disorder. Because of their inflated self concept, they fail to recognize that their perceptions and behaviors are socially inappropriate and problematic. People with narcissistic personality disorder usually only enter treatment because of other comorbid disorders or problems such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and or an eating disorder. It is important to note that unlike other disorders wherein treatment can be assisted with pills such as antidepressants, antipsychotic medication, or mood stabilizers, for narcissistic personality disorder, there is no pill that can help them become better. The pills can help alleviate the symptoms of the comorbid disorders, but it cannot specifically help cure NPD itself. The best way to assist a person with NPD is to provide long term and consistent psychotherapy to help them engage their own reflective abilities to make them realize that changing for the better is beneficial for them too. The goal is to build up the person's poor self esteem and to help them have a more realistic expectation of themselves and others. Thank you for watching PsychPal. Quick personal note. This is a very personal passion project for me. I suffer from anxiety and depression, and creating these videos not only provide me with relief from my mental struggles, but also makes me genuinely happy. I love helping spread the word about mental illness so we can finally remove the stigma and accept it like we do any other physical illness. Let's be there for each other the best we can. Please like and subscribe and share the video to someone whom you think will benefit from the information. Thank you and have a great day.